I won 2 times and the computer didn't win at all, and we tied 2 times, so not bad. Welcome back to another C++ tutorial. My name is Ghost, and in this video we will be creating a rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Stop it. Welcome back to another C++ tutorial. My name is Ghost, and in this video we will be creating a rock, paper, and scissors shoot game. However, this video will be a little bit different and actually pretty exciting because you will be the one coding it. But let me break that down really quick. So I will give you some boilerplate code. However, the boilerplate code does consist of all the functionality of the game, but you must optimize this code, fix any bugs that you find, and add any features that you may wish to add. But the application should remain a console application, so don't add any third-party libraries and complicate the code base. Now in this video, I'll go over the boilerplate code, go over the rules and guidelines and how to submit, which reminds me the repository will be in the link in the description below. So when you submit your code, you do it in the form of a pull request, but note that your pull request will never get merged into the code base. It's just meant mainly for me to review. At that point, I can provide constructive feedback as well as your peers who can also provide feedback. But if you do a really good job with your code, I can put you in the Hall of Fame, which will be in the README file. By the way, make sure to check out both the README file and the contribution file, which can be found in the main repository. Anyways, let's jump straight into the code so that way I can show you how the boilerplate looks like. Okay, so once you fork and clone the repository, it'll look something like this, minus the ignore file here. That's just some stuff for me. But what you need to focus on is the code base, which can be found in the source directory here, as well as the include, which will have your header files. Now this project uses CMake to compile the code, so you have to make sure to have that on your computer. But anyway, so you have your CMake list file here. You also have some batch files as well as shell files for Mac or Linux users. Of course, you have your README file, and then you have the contributing guideline file, but you also have this change log here. So whatever you do, you should be documenting your changes here. So if you add anything, meaning any new features, you should place them here. If you make any changes, you add them here. And if you find any bugs, which there will be bugs, you place them here. Okay, so with that out the way, let's go over the code base. So we're gonna open up the include directory first, just to go over the header file. All this really has is just this run function, because we're not gonna put everything in the main. Now closing that directory and that file, look into our source here. But we're going to look at the main first. So as you see here, we include that driver header file, and all we do is just call that function. Now where all the logic is in this driver translation unit. So open this up. So I'm going to skim through this file because I don't want to over explain anything or highlight where any of the bugs are, because that is your job. But I'm going to go over some of the things that I could say. So let's start at the top here. We have 3 different libraries. Of course, you have your IO stream for input and output. And then you have this cstd_lib, which is going to be used for the random function, which is what we're using down here. And then you have the ctime, which is going to be used for seeding that random function. Now that will be used for the computer to make a decision on which one it's going to choose, rock, paper, or scissor. The next thing that we have here is these declarations, which you have the player score to track that. You have the computer score, ties, which will track how many times you tied with the computer. And then you have your current round and the round limit, because you get to input how many rounds you want to go for. And that is what we see next down here. So we do see this welcome to rock, paper, scissors, which of course you can change. And then we begin to prompt the user. So how many rounds would you like to play? And then we take that input right here and put it into the round limit. And then this is the game loop, which this will be the top of the round. So the first thing we're going to ask here is, well, actually, we're going to show the round number here. And then the first thing we're going to ask is to ask the user what they want to select. So 1 for rock, 2 for paper, 3 for scissors, or 4 to quit. We put that into this player choice right here. And then moving down here, these are some of the conditions based on what the player chose. This is the computer's choice. And then this right here will display the choices. So it'll display your choice here, and then it'll display the computer choice here. The next thing down here is to determine the winner. So this portion right here determines if it's a tie. This portion right here determines if you won based on some of this logic here. And then lastly, if it's the else statement, it determines if the computer won. At the very end of the loop here, we just increment the round to go to the next round and then go back up to the top. And then of course you have your condition right here, which makes sure that it goes how many rounds it's supposed to go based on what the user input. So once you're done with the rounds, the last thing that we're going to do here is display the final score. So the first thing you're going to see is your score. then the computer score, then how many times you tied, and then just a simple message, thanks for playing. And then the last thing down here, this press enter to exit, and then we see the cn using the get function, which will wait for the user's input before closing the terminal. Because the whole point is that if we don't do this, what would happen is we won't see this. It'll just disappear quickly and then it'll close the terminal. Now, one thing I will say really quickly, when we compile it and test this, which we're gonna do next, we won't see this. And I'm saying that because it's gonna happen when we actually test it. So we won't see this because there is an issue, but that is up to you to find and fix. So that's a free one, but I didn't tell you where it is. So you just have to find what the issue is and to get this to actually work. Anyways, let's compile and test it. Okay, so I have our terminal open here. Now make sure you're in the main directory because it won't work if you're not. So the main directory is this RPS code challenge. As long as it says that, then you are in the main directory. Since I'm on a Windows, all I'm gonna do is use the compile debug like this. Now for clarity, you can put bat, which is for batch, or if you're on Mac or Linux, you put shell. But I believe if you just omit it like that and depending on your operating system, it should work fine. Also, I should say that if you are on Mac or Linux, there is another command that you need to run before you run this, which I'll show you really quick. So this is the command that you will need to run in order to give permission to use these files, the compile and the run. If you don't do that, then it won't work. But let's delete that because I'm on Windows and we're just going to run the compile debug. Okay, so that compiled. Let's just clear the screen. And now we're gonna run that run file using that bash file for me, Windows. Okay, so the first thing that you see here is welcome to rock, paper, scissors, and then you need to input how many rounds you would like to play. So let's just play 4 rounds. Now, so it says round and then enter 1 for rock, 2 for paper, 3 for scissors, or 4 to quit. So let's just choose paper. Okay, so you chose paper, the computer chose paper, so it is a tie. Let's choose rock, another tie. Let's choose rock again. Okay, so it says you chose rock, computer chose paper, and you win this round. Well, something's wrong there, but that's up to you. All right, lastly, let's choose scissor. And that's exactly what I was talking about. So once you finish that last round, it just closes the terminal because there is something wrong. But once again, that is up to you to find and fix. Okay, so now to show you my version. Now, I wouldn't say my version is 100% optimized or the best way to do it. I can still work at it, which I still might for fun. But you'll notice immediately that it is different. But yeah, so let's just give it a shot. All right, so let's choose 4 rounds again. This is how mine's looking like so far. Now, like I said, I have this menu system, so I can go up and down, and you can see that like quit turned red. These are green, and I could just select like this. So hit enter on paper. So it's a tie. Let's try rock. Okay, I win that round. Let's try scissors. That's a tie again. Scissors. Okay, I won that round. So I won 2 times and the computer didn't win at all, and we tied 2 times, so not bad. As you notice, mine did give me the final score, and then it says press enter to exit. So yours should look like that once you fix the problem. Also, my code would not be a part of the repository because that isn't the point to this challenge. The point to this challenge is that you use your own creativity to come up with whatever you want to come up with. It could look similar to mine or it could look totally different. You just have to stay within the bounds of the rules and make sure you don't add any third-party libraries, because it should still operate as a console application rather than using something like STL2, give it some sort of window. We don't want to do that. We don't want to overcomplicate anything. So that's it. It's pretty simple enough. And for this video, I wanted to do something different where it involves you more than me just going over some tutorial of how to code something, and have you actually figure it out and then also bring in your own creativity. So I hope this does well. I feel like it'll be fun for everybody. And especially since it's a game, it makes it more exciting rather than it just being some random like to-do list or something like that. But you let me know what you think in the comments. Anyways, remember the link will be in the description below for the repository. And at the time of this upload, I know I was in the middle of the pointer series. Don't worry, part 3 is on its way. I already filmed it. I just need to edit it and it will come later this week. But if you're watching this sometime in the way future, then don't worry about that. The whole entire series should be out. But anyways, if you're new here, consider subscribing, hit that bell notification so you know when I release videos. Like this video if you haven't already. Comment below, let me know what you think. Maybe even share it with a friend. But besides all that, good luck on this coding challenge, and I look forward to reading your code. I am Ghost, and I'll see you in the next video.